OG plan against it? How does Team OG play according to it? And then, as you said correctly, adapting the map.
Adaptations definitely will be required. It's the David versus Goliath battle, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Orangutan versus Revenant Esports. Orangutan having gone undefeated so far, and Revenant having played just one map so far. I mean, one game so far. We don't know what they bring to the table. What we saw against Militant Esports from them was a little shaky, but I think we should give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think they will be able to show us good Valorant today against Orangutan. Even though the odds heavily favor OG, Revenant can still bring some surprises.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's why I want Team Revenant to play this game. And Anti, he just has a very similar workout every time. Just puts his hands on his stomach and shows that, yeah, he is here to play. And most of the squad of Team Revenant just super focused. Just want this match to get started as soon as possible. And let's see how do they perform in today's game.
Quite a lot at stake here, ladies and gentlemen. OG have been able to win every single game so far, but Revenant have some surprises. Last time, we managed to see Vine from them, and that was quite a spectacular show. Yeah, he's giving it to him. Why not?
Apes.
It works both ways.
Let's see though. I mean, in game, if Tesseract is able to just diff out Paradox, the situation might change. I mean, the Apes then would be giving bananas to the squad of Revenant. But here are the two, I think, the coaches as well. Oh no, yep, they are Doctor and Pro. Let's see. The timeouts have to be called perfectly, and OG, I don't think have been even put in the spot where they feel a little bit uncomfortable. Those timeouts haven't been called, except for the only time I remember is the Split 1 Grand Finals on the map of Haven. That's when a timeout was very necessary, as Team God's Reign were charging upon the players of Team OG again and again. But yeah, I mean, after that, I haven't seen Doctor being needed. The timeouts are still called, but I think those are just for pee breaks and stuff like that, rather than talking about strats for OG.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they still talk strats, but they always look cool and calm while doing it. That's probably why you were led to that assumption. But hey, I wouldn't blame you. They do look in control all the time. I don't think I've seen them sweat at all this entire season, you know? They've just been so composed, so poised, graceful even, because they make it look easy. They don't just win, they win with style. And that's partially why everybody is liking them now. I mean, when they defeated Velocity, everybody was shocked. Since Split 1, that entire match had been building up. We were waiting for the Clash of the Titans since a very long time. A whole split. But we never got to saw it. And then when it finally came through in Split 2, it wasn't even a close game. So, yeah. One might just say that watching OG play is like watching a textbook open itself. They're so methodical and so difficult to crack. And yes, that might not be the most interesting game because they are able to win every single game one-sidedly. They make themselves look good, but yeah, the anxiety that you get when you're watching a very close game, the suspense of who's going to win, that's just not been present in OG's games.
Ooh, but here is the moment of truth. The maps is what I want to see the most, and that's I'd say good ban from Team Revenant. They just do not want to play Pearl. And OG, they've been perma-banning Lotus, and there are no surprises there too. So Revenant now have a choice. They still can go with that map of Vine, and they do. They still want to play this map. And OG, this is the very first time in this split at least that I'll be seeing them play on the map of Vine.
Yeah, OG also haven't played on Vine before. I'm actually surprised that they go for the Lotus ban, because I thought that even Revenant weren't all that comfortable playing it, so they could have just let Revenant go for the Lotus ban at some point in the veto and ban Vine themselves. That way they wouldn't have to be worried about this pocket pick that Revenant have. But maybe OG are comfortable with them playing on Vine, so they just let it go by. They just wanted to get sure that Lotus doesn't surprise them. it could be understandable. I mean, OG have shown such a diverse map pool so far. They're strong on pretty much everything. Yes, we haven't seen them on Bind, but hey, I mean, if they're able to handle the chaos of every other game, then Bind shouldn't be that much of a trouble for them.
Paradox, a Yoru, please. Please, pretty please. Because I really would like to see a Yoru on this map. Although I am skeptical about it, but I'd be happy if he plays it.
You know, I have seen Paradox play on Yoru before, just not online. I've seen him do it on Pearl.
Oh, that's interesting. But here we do have, I mean, similar picks coming in. Blackhawk going in with a trusty Brimi, right to ace with this guy. There is a Viper as well for Ching and Paradox. Just plays the raise. But there is a double duelist composition from both these teams. But the adaptation here from Revenant, they're not playing a Sentinel on this map. It's a double controller and a double duelist setup.
This Viper pick doesn't really surprise me. You've seen it from these guys before, but I have to be honest.
Even OG.
Yeah, I mean, the Viper pick kind of lets them creep into multiple areas at the same time. And even though Revenant have shown us so far that they are more of an execute-based team, that whole double execute thing, you have two-pronged approaches towards either side of the map, and then depending on what picks you get or what information you get, you then make a rotation later on. Those kind of approaches can easily be dealt with by a team like Orangutan. That's the biggest question. Are OG actually prepared for this one? Have they countered Revenant? That's why they are letting this map pick go through? Or are they just going to play their own game and have a chill time? Double duelist. Well, it's like fighting fire with fire.
The only change between the two is OG also have double initiators running. So there's Tesseract with the Sova and Andy's playing Sky this time around. And now Sky is a very valuable agent just because of the regrowth and the Trailblazer. But those flashes, the information on the back of it is also something you can work around. Although Bind as a map is, I'd say, a very constricted map where information really isn't a big of a challenge. Because then again, if you hear a lot of the players on A and then the TP play comes in, you'll anyways have to adapt. So information won't be a problem here.
Yeah, exactly.
More importantly, I'd like to see how other executes going to be thrown in. Josh just pushes in. The shock dart is great too, but Tesseract, he knows that there is a barrage of players coming in.
Yikes.
But somehow he just peeks out again, gets 3 in the process. Yes, Paradox is able to trade it out, but Aziz with another frag will soften Paradox too. And now VK will come in and close the round. OG, I thought Tesseract was just turning tail and running away, but he just cements his foot outside elbow and gets 3 in the round.
Yeah, he just needed to stay alive long enough for his teammates to come back in. And as soon as they're here, as soon as he has even a little bit of backup, he can turn the tides. It indeed was a David versus Goliath battle. Tesseract cosplaying David over here. Paradox just picking up the charge, getting inside so quickly, and is able to trade everybody out. Triple kill for them both, and that kind of sets the tempo for the game.
Zizo pushed off the angle for a little bit, but I mean, this Marshall is a one-shot body shot. Ching is able to trade it out, but the weapon you retrieve is still not good enough to help you snowball the round in your favor. The Trailblazer, the Owl Drone, all of this will give a lot of information. But right now, the players are still fighting it out. Tesseract, he is trying to spam the players out a little bit, and even Ching and Rideways have been tagged quite a lot, but now OG, they will have to defend against the say short push. Shouldn't be difficult, but yeah, still you'll need to drop this players out.
And OG are perfectly positioned for this one. They are hiding behind the smokes of Revenant just to make sure that no early frags are given away. They are much comfortable giving the map control away, letting them sneak into this lamps region. But they won't try to go for the kills. And as soon as they have the opportunity, as soon as he hears the dog coming in, RVK takes the chance. But the trades from Revenant have been so good every single time. OG find the first pick, find the timing, and Revenant are right back on their trails, hot on their heels. Rockfield finally making us feel the
30 seconds left.
Disengages. Josh is going to make a mad dash for it. The spike on his back. Revenant hot on his heels. And now he's in a race.
He will be able to get this spike down and has also recovered a Spectre to play with. But yeah, I mean, there is a good thing. Andy was playing with the Marshall for a very long period of time, but then he swaps out for the Bulldog. So this should not be a problem for Emoji to close the round until Josh can hit some 2 nutty shots with the Sheriff. Both these players, okay, Anti has a half shield. So long range anti still will be dead by a one tap. But now Josh, he was trying to hit those shots. Raw fuel. He was still jumping out in the air. I was able to just stop, turn, and get the headshot.
Don't even
But yeah, I mean, it does not matter a lot because Orangutan, they were favored to win this round.
Revenant go for some nice peeks off of their A default. It's not even widely spread out. But when OG are pushing them from every direction, what can they possibly do? OG heavily taking control of bats. But the trades from Revenant, by the way, were superb. And even over here, RBK took the timing. He knew that there is Jing on the other side of a shot. But he's like, as long as I can just get the two of these, the risky play will be worth it. He's not afraid of diving in and giving up his own life as long as he can make sure the pendulum swings in their favor.
My ult is
Time
ready.
around the Tesseract. It was a very risky play to just go for the orb and expect the players of Team 7 to not push it. It was an important thing, but yeah, Paradox is able to find the opener onto raw fuel. And these are just bulldogs, so we do not expect much in this round from Team OG. Tesseract has been just pushed back
Spike
because of those
planted.
pain shells. So now the retake will commence in from OG. Anti just using the TP right away. Spots Aziz down, but Aziz is able to hit the double headshot with the Spectre, but Paradox once again just ready with the trade. Anti spotted down two on other part of the map. Tesseract falls and Revenant should be around
enemy
in their
remaining.
back.
OG are so fast though. As soon as they see Revenant presence, they just dive in for these fights right away. They make Revenant run around so much, and you know what? This whole game feels like a heist. It feels like a chase rather than a actual brawl. Which is quite a fresh taste, you know? And we are aware about that little glitch of the round win thingy coming in the middle of the round. Please don't be bothered by it. It will be fixed soon enough. I know a couple of people did get confused when they saw it, but apologies for all those things. Anyway, OG, getting back to the point, this game is starting to feel like a chase more than a fight. Because, yeah, OG are offering these early battles to Revenant Esports very well, and they duke it out. But OG are so quick to rotate. And then Revenant think that as soon as they hear the rotations coming in, they're going to change their plans, and that's what makes these teams run around. Finally, there's a little bit of a standoff with neither team willing to fall back to its path. Utils exchange, Skydogs, nades, the works, everything. But Blackhawk on the other side of the map, he's already picked off one guy. Rawfuel tried to go a little too further ahead. And this forces OG to play on the other side of this Viper's pit. I mean, the Viper's toxic screen. Oh, now you better run. The explosives are out. The flight is in. And boom goes the showstopper. And, you know, it still gets Paradox before he's blown apart to smithereens.
And right away, will be a dead man if he continues to plan. He just jumps away, and now the smokes are going to fade away. So Revenant will be in a little bit of a tough spot. The spike is hit now, time 40 seconds on the clock. The push comes in, the flash is perfect. And Revenant just straight backside. Tesseract left all alone, and I think it's better to save the weapon rather than going for a retake. Good hit from Team Revenant. And once again, they found raw fuel so very early without being traded, which essentially helped them win the round.
It definitely did. OG was definitely on a utility diff over there, but Tesseract creeping in. Nobody's watching this. He's holding it. The trigger discipline hopefully will pay off, but he does get spotted by the jet. Josh saves the day.
No charges left.
If only he was able to connect that first shot onto Josh and then flick around to the sky. Jeez, that would have been nutty. It would have boiled down to a 1v1. But in that round, OG, really good usage of utility even though they lost that one. As soon as Paradox came flying in, the rest of Revenant followed right behind him. They wanted to go for the plant while the smokes were still active and while Paradox managed to get that frag onto Antidote, instantly turning into a 4v4. But then OG dumped the recon darts, which forced Josh to reposition. It forced even Ching to get out of there. And then the nade to deny the plant onto Ace. All of that stuff really put Revenant in a tough spot. And as soon as the smokes fade away, that's when Revenant dived deeper inside because they knew that there's no point trying to plant anymore. Let's just go for the fight. Revenant go into brawl mode to win the previous round. And even now, OG were trying to tempt them, trying to test how much do they want to brawl, how much do they want to fight. Is the flavor of the game going to be a chase still? Or have we devolved down to fighting like apes?
Bomb buddy out.
Let's see. It is a very slow default coming in from Revenant. They know the OG are on eco, and this team is very cramped with the sheriffs. So they're not falling into a trap, is what they feel. Although the early presence out B long has made the players of Team Revenant a little bit uncomfortable. And now with the spike, they're heading towards this B side irrespective. And the call from OG is not good. They are stacking out A, but that's not where the players of Team Revenant are going to be. 3 smokes will be thrown in. Revenant will get the side for free. And OG, they are going in for
30 seconds left.
They do have 2 ultimates to work with, but for those to be popped, you need a few frags beforehand.
Yeah, still good utility dump, you know. Smokes in the right place, mollies, trailblazers to assist the dash in from Josh. I mean, Revenant are still being careful, even though they're not aware that a stack was on the other side. And now OG have no choice but to land a couple of flashes and time their pushes through these chokes really quickly. Smokes are gonna fade away anytime now, and that's when OG will jump them.
Here. Walk out.
Counter utility from Revenant already prepared, hoping that the sky flash will keep them at bay. Ace peeks ahead of the smokes that have been deployed by OG. They don't want to get locked out of the action. They want to have vision of the site, of the spike as well. And OG are just trying to get all the weapons down now. Good. They might even be able to escape with a weapon or 2, but I think they would much rather want to go down to the spike. No point in retrieving weapons when you have them in the next round anyway.
And Revenant, they do get a good round, and they do not fall prey to that eco that emoji had. And we did expect OG to lose that round just because of the weapons that were available, but it was a good attempt. Towards the ending, towards the parting time, we did see a couple of frags being given away to OG, and that will help to boost the morale a little bit. 3-2 right now. Revenant, another 8 default is on the cards. Early orbital strike being used too, so OG they're being pushed away from their usual default position, and Revenant, they are quick enough to challenge for places. Aziz with a showstopper will trade out Ching. So the battle of showers is lost, and Revenant, they try to take CD control, and the trades are great, but it's all down to right to Ace in a 1v2, who brings it down to a 1v1. All the fights just happened as soon as those ultimates collapsed. And now right to Ace, puts the player down, gets the dig, and is able to snatch away the rounds out of the hands of OG.
Nice round by Revenant Esports. They bisect the map in half with a wiper wall. They throw in the orbital strike to push the Bath players away, and the Seekers will push them even further back. Paradox, as soon as he gets on top over there, as soon as he gets the vantage point, he's supposed to be the guy who starts shooting everybody down while OG were just so vulnerable. But the reverse orbital strike forces them out of position. And that's when Revenant Esports know that they just simply won't be able to plant. They might as well just go for the fights. They knew that even the other showstopper is coming in. Aziz rotated in really quickly from the teleporters. And they know that they won't be able to lose but might as well just go for the fights now. They have lamp control, so why not just capture backside? Planting would have been literally impossible, especially when the backside is still not clear and when there's a push coming in from Shahs. Good adjustment by Revenant, but I have to give my credits to OG as well. Their attempts to stop the plant from Revenant have been very good so far. They make Revenant very uncomfortable. But Revenant have backup plans all the time. Exactly. In case the spike plant fails, they don't mind going down to the fighting ranges.
The problem here is with the comp, I'd say, for Team OG. They really cannot contest once a lot of utility is being dumped on one part of the map. And this wall from Paradox, not Paradox, it's Ching. It just helps Team Revenant to have that little seed of doubt planted into the minds of OG that someone still could cross while we are trying to fight for A showers. And it isolates any sort of support from site. So you are basically fighting showers all through and through. And if you have 2 players like this pushing out A shot, it could be a solution. But this time around, you just have sheriffs. So let's see if they're able to do anything on the back of it. Revenant, they're moving towards this B side. Again, they should find it empty except for Raw Fuel, who has missed a lot of blades. And then George finally puts him to an early grave. Next.
But Aziz makes up for it. And he's going for the fight stoically, bravely once again. Ching is not going to lose out on any of that. He's almost aware about the incoming
enemy
flank as
remaining.
well. And once again, not a problem.
Uh-huh.
Revenant don't fall prey to these eco rounds. RBK is known to be the sheriff master, so you gotta watch out for this guy. I mean, there's no way RBK wins the round, but still, these weapons are expensive. Don't fight him. Wait, you're actually fighting him. Alright.
They do drop a couple of rifles, but I think so money won't be a problem, at least for now. I mean, in future rounds it might come back and hurt you, but till now it looks like Revenant, they have this first half in their control. They have been looking very sharp with all these attacks. They have been able to get the right calls. They have been able to attack on the less stacked sites, and those A executes, those just have been flawless. The adaptations are there, the frags are there, the trades are all present. And yes, OG, they did win the pistol round, but those are the only 2 rounds they get till now in regulation. Revenant have won all 5.
And they look to win their 6th as well. Let's get into the side. A slight change this time. Instead of going towards the lamps, the Jet and Grace both dashed towards the other side of the Viper toxin screen. And now it explains why they wanted to go for the Viper spit, but Ching, he's lost a lot of his teammates and he's surrounded. I don't think the spike plant's possible now, even though they've got this whole pit planted over here. They make their escape. They bait OG right into their hands. And now the B side's vacant. If they can race to the other side, they might be able to get the spike down yet. But as soon as they try to go for it, they're getting flanked. OG are mass teleporting.
Spike planted.
It's a 2v5 retake situation. And right to ace has a lot of util left too. There's a trailblazer, there's a flash available. The regrowth will help Ching if he's able to win first few early duels. But the great thing from OG, they're just waiting out the smoke. They know they have 40 seconds on the clock, so they are using every second that is available to them. The hookah jumps are coming in, but right to ace and Ching are just taking all these players apart. Tesseract finally somehow is able to get in, get the frag, but right to ace. Still in the 1v1 against Tesseract. It is going to be an important duel. Right to ace does not get wetted because of the tap. He turns around, gets the frag, and Revenant!
No way.
They pull out a
No
2v5.
way.
What is that?
No way they do this. Oh my god. Revenant Esports pull one from the brink and then they themselves call the tactical timeout. Calm your nerves, boys. Drink some water. Get hydrated. We have this in the bag. Revenant Esports adjustments to go brawling in the later stages of these rounds have been so good. I mean, I love how Ace and him were playing on the other side of the entrance of V Long. At first, Ace was outside the box. At that time, they had a lovely crossfire established for anyone who would be jumping out of hookah. Even if someone came out from the defender spawn area, then Ace would be the one to be able to trade. It would be the Viper that went down first. But then when Ace went inside the box, I thought, okay, this is a bit dicey because then they can't trade each other out and they will have to be individually guarding both the defender spawn entrance and hookah instead. But you know what? When OG are jumping out of hookah one by one and there's a smoke to cover the tracks, I mean, why not? It will work.
I mean, didn't they have any sky flashes or something like that to help the
The
players?
Seekers
of
were
hookah jump
popped.
out? But it was very late because after that the poison orb got popped too. So hookah was for some time a no-go area. But as soon as I think it was Aziz who tried to jump out of hookah first, he could have asked for a flash from Attitude to just help him isolate those duels. It did not happen. And I mean, yes, Revenant are able to win the round, but I did see some problems, or I'd say some setup issue that I saw in the previous round. If you still wanted to go and commit that Viper Spit onto the A side, the 2 Brimstone smokes could have been thrown on truck and default rather than the ones on side. So that was just a little bit of a problem, but Revenant were easily able to deal with it. Not easily, a 2v5 post plant is something which you won't be able to pull off every time, but this time around OG with very little weapons once again are putting some heat. Paradox is able to shut down Aziz. And now into the side. So it is a 3v3. RVK has been able to recover a weapon, but Tesseract a little bit low. And let's see if OG are able to get this retake this time around or not.
Nice spam by Paradox. That should swing the round, but Rawfuel hits one right back. Denies the plant. Paradox with the double spray. Make it a quad for this guy. Revenant Esports are playing so quickly. They are literally fighting these guys, brawling them out. I said that this game was looking like a chase at first, but now it's just looking like an absolute fight out. Revenant Esports just picking up the pace, dude. As soon as OG tried to crunch them from bot, they had quite some deep positions over here. Even the weapon was retrieved over there by RVK, and he was flanking them very quickly. Paradox, as soon as he satcheled into the side, he was still watching Hookah. So that awareness is just so good. Josh this time going for the same spot, setting up the showstopper for his teammates, but a double frag comes through. Rawfuel is finally killed. The revenge has been taken, but Lamp's control is lost, and Josh, he's pushing so deep inside that RVK is forced to fall back.
Revenant, even after the first two fight losses, they're able to recover and bring it down to 3v3. The orbital strike will force the players into a very difficult spot. Paradox even still manages to get a frag. Aziz is able to answer right back in terms of getting a ping or two right to ace. The spam, it won't connect, and the satchel won't either. So Paradox gets this fight down. But overpeaks his stay, and OG finally are able to get the retake done. It was all because Revenant were too eager to peek those common angles. But hey, you'll take the round given to you.
Revenant and OG both have their win conditions established for them. For OG, their win condition is to use their utility to deny the spike plant. They've used the same orbital strike before to make sure that the plant doesn't go through, and this time as well they use the nades. For Revenant, on the other hand, every time OG tries to activate this timing bait, every time they want to stop them from the spike plant, Revenant, they flip the switch and they go for the battles instead. Revenant see OG's moves coming from a mile away. And that's exactly why they have such a big lead. But this time, when early picks were rewarded to Rawfuel and Tesseract, even the Heat won't be able to save you. Similar tactics this time, but the orbital strike towards Bart doesn't do anything. The Bladestorm doesn't find anything, and Tesseract picks one off from heaven. The flank from Aziz has already arrived, and once again Revenant forced to adjust. Since they have the backside, they look to make a sneaky entry off of the defender spawn entrance, but then they have to face Tesseract. Blackhawk turns around to surprise Aziz. That's nuts.
One dead.
Oh my god, they've got heaven control now. They could go anywhere. They could be in A, they could be in B. OG are thrown into a state of discomfort and disarray. They are so confused right now about where Revenant could be. But Revenant are not moving out of anywhere. They hold their ground.
Get the bomb down too. Oh, the nice Josh had an opportunity there, and Rawfuel is just jiggling the angle, making sure all the blades are lost. But the problem is, inside U-Haul, this judge is very, very powerful. And how do you uproot it? OG, they again need a miracle of a retake over here. Blackhawk still has a heaven under his control. He has to be somehow dealt with, and you do not have any ultimates to do so. Spotted down, RVK. Can he run him down? That's the main question. Rawfuel is trying to check the smoke. Blackhawk gets that frag. Josh with the judge is able to deliver too. So OG, great start to the round. But the mid-round take, the late-round goals from Team Revenant are just perfect. Just perfect. The adaptation, they are adapting just like water. They're flowing around the map. They're finding gaps around the map. And OG cannot comprehend how is Team Revenant doing that.
I think water is the perfect word to use over there. Every time OG have used their orbital strike or tried to nade them out, all these explosives just simply don't bother Revenant at all. They're fluid too. But whenever Revenant hit them, they are the ones who leave OG with third-degree burn marks. So you decide which one's gonna win over here, whether it's fire or water. Throw a little bit of Avatar in the mix as well, especially when you've got Josh pushing in and embodying the spirit of the wind over there with this jet. But speaking of pushes, Tesseract timing betrays him. The wiper ball drops. Create from REK, not possible today. And once again, OG start with a man deficit.
Yikes.
There's a lot of shots over here, but Rawfuel is able to answer back with that operating shot. Blackhawk gets taken care of. The pain shells will put RBK in a very tough spot, but he'll still be able to but he'll be dealt with by Paradox. Now Ching playing the smoke. Aziz knows that there is a possibility of something like that happening, and Rawfuel now will be challenged. That operator has to find something. Is not able to hit the shot, but Aziz on the other end just fell to Ching. The showstopper wasted. Not even a single point of damage, and Aziz is able to recover a weapon. Both the players of OG now have handles in their hands. And now the late round calling has to kick in once again. The Clutch Master, can he do it again? Can he win it for his team once again? A 2v2.
Uh-oh.
Paradox spotted. And bear in mind, just 2 bullets will take Paradox down.
30
he has
seconds
45
left.
HP to his name. And Aziz has a nade, has a boombot, has all the utility he needs. And
He's given away sound.
he has, but that won't matter because Revenant, they're running low on time.
They can just teleport back to B, and then none of them will be in a position to intercept. Oh, this is a very bold plant. OG have always been successful in the nice spike plants, and Aziz denies the round. Oh my goodness. The one thing that OG had working for them was playing together. The one thing that could have won them the round were the trades, because OG were not in positions to trade each other out. Antidote was in heaven, Aziz was all the way towards the bottom of shot. And I thought Revenant knew that. They had all the information, they had both the positions. If they just dive into the TP, they can race into the B side again. And it's worked so well for them in the past. I really thought they would do that. But, yeah, I thought... Yeah, they probably thought that they would be able to kill them as they go for the trades. Like I said, Revenant were in better positions and they were closer to each other. So I think that's what they were okay with. The risk they took was calculated, but the math can be better. Anyway, the numbers over here indicate 8 and 4, which is quite a good scoreline. But will they be able to convert this into a win? We'll have to find out in the second half.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. It's been quite a stylish match so far. OG have been doing one very good thing, that is trying to deny the spike plan for Revenant Esports. But Revenant, as a mode of adapting, they don't resort to planting somewhere else or sometime else. They resort to just fighting back.
They could have expected that there is a lot of util available for Aziz in that spot, and he would have used that instead of peeking himself. That could be an assumption that could have been made. But wait a minute, Josh just hit a crazy shot out to Tesseract and able to take him down, and right to ace is just not expected in the spot. He also gets a frag. It was a very important pistol for OG to win, but it seems like it's going the other way around.
The spike stopped in a very risky spot. They're throwing in everything over there. The smokes to cut them off too.
Gotcha.
And almost entirety of Revenant has rotated over here. In case somebody else isn't here, they're on the flank. Josh is already on the backline, so it's not like they can go anywhere else as well.
Oh,
Alright then. Alright then. I take my words back. There's still some fight left in OG.
Enemy remaining.
Revenant! We're so close to dying. Hey, but at least Antidote's run away with the spike.
I do not understand how Ching was able to even kill the player and then the bot too, because usually those boom bots just jump on me. Ching
skill
gets
issues.
to save his life. Maybe yeah, true. But you still have to be very careful with the frenzy because Josh has a sheriff. Now it is a 2-shot body shot weapon here for onto Antidote, but its frenzy is just better in run and gun situations, and that is exactly what Andy is going to try. The spike gets stabbed. There is the frenzy, and he can just sneak into the smoke and then try to get the frag. He does exactly that. Oh, but Ching, he was really just pick the spike. His player got taken down, but he never just stood up for the trade. He was like, yeah, man, you die. I don't care. I'm just taking the spike and getting the round for my team.
I'm sure there must have been a moment of hesitation, a moment of doubt where he was like, should I go for it? And then when he heard Antidote backing away, even when Antidote hesitated, Ching didn't. It all comes down to nerves, and it all comes down to what's the polite word for it? Cojones at the end of the day. The determination to continue sticking through. It takes guts to do that, dude.
Blinded.
And once again, in this round, you see investment from OG. There are a couple of there are 4 sheriffs, and they are disrespecting the Vipers. Oh, and they just get torn to pieces.
Spike down, B.
Revenant, they just eliminate every player, and Anti is given away his position with a bird too. So best he can do, get one. Right to ace is low, so that is the best he could do right now. The frenzy is there. He will get that pick on to right to ace, but then Paradox peaks at the perfect time, gets the refrag, and Revenant. They are trying to make things look very easy because a 6-round deficit for OG. It is a little bit too big because it is only Aziz performing till now. The other players haven't chimed in yet.
Aziz was the most consistent player of Split 1-2. He would often be the carry of the team, and now he's in charge once again. Revenant already breaching double digits. But now that OG have the guns, they need to play it a little more carefully. If they try to run it down like Revenant, it could still be a bit more problematic. Especially with Ching being present. Any other day, any other smoke, if OG ran through it, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because Viper smoke makes you vulnerable, you are in danger. And now it's not the smokes, it's the judge. He's brave enough to push into his own teammates Molotov. He doesn't care, he just wants that frag.
And he's brought down to 3 HP and he has no support. Revenant, they are a 3-man stack on this side, and right to ace has been spotted down with the frenzy. There is no support. Yep, AVK just contacts in, gets that stack onto right to ace, is able to equalize the numbers. And now Josh will feel a little bit of a trouble. There are 2 players still out hookah, so they go for the CD plant instead is what I think, and Raw Fuel is able to get another frag to his name. So OG, they also show that they are the ones who also can, you know, adapt according to situations, adapt according to player positions, and they should be able to get this 5th until we do see some heroics coming in from either of these players of Team Revenant.
Antidote's already very low on HP. His only job is to just maintain presence over there. He can't do much killing, but I take my words back. Even though he was very low on HP, he was just supposed to build that pressure on Revenant and make them feel a little uncomfortable going into the retake. Good adjustments from Revenant, but OG were still better over here. Partially because of the better weapons. But boy, oh boy, they made Revenant Esports sweat. The judges from Josh, it's so difficult to get out of. Plus when he's pushing you down through Blackhawk's own molly. I mean, who else is capable enough of doing that? Antidote made the only play he could, just hold all the way back and make Revenant a little paranoid about his presence. But still, that was a bonus round for Revenant. They didn't even have a lot of guns. They just had a bunch of pistols, like 4 Spectres at max. So it was still quite good.
Deploying drone.
Once again, the OG, they are hitting this B side. The owl drone will spot right to ace and he will escape, but he has support. He has support from Ching too. And OG, they have gotten the right side. They have got the right idea. But let's see if they execute in time, because exactly the 2 players on flank will trouble the players of Team OG a lot.
And this is so fast. There's still a whole minute left on the clock. And they're already behind them. But OG are intercepting this. They prepared for this one. Oh, they walk into a trap. Revenant Esports is, for them, curiosity is what kills the cat, but maybe not yet. Oh, he's throwing in everything. He doesn't want them to fight him. OG pivot towards A as well. They realize that this deep push must come at a cost. But Revenant must have already vacated the A side because they thought it's all empty.
Die.
Nice shots.
Both of them still going. But Paradox stops him. So that's, Tesseract stops him. And now it's a 3v3. Ching does not has any more util left. Right to Ace has 2 birds and a regrowth too. So this will be an important use of util from right to Ace. The RVK goes a very good molly, stops the players, forces them to rotate back all around, and where the players of Team OG are positioned. But both the players just get taken down, and Blackhawk through the wood just eliminates the player, and Revenant, a phenomenal retake, will give them the 11th.
I don't think it was much of a retake. Revenant were positioned to win this right from the beginning. What a great recovery. I thought Revenant were done for as soon as they walked into that trap. When they pushed out a bath all that time, they left the A side empty. They were ready to stop OG from an imminent B hit, but OG adapted really well. They planted the spike, and then the crunch comes through. Because OG still have control of A shot, and Aziz is stuck alone over there, Revenant Esports, they regroup instead. Even though they were snuck deep inside, Paradox was way behind enemy lines. And then he makes those plays too. And simply by virtue of him being present over there, he gave all the information available to Revenant Esports. Revenant were also considering coming in via a flank or coming in via the defender spawn. That push from Paradox gave them all the information they needed. They regrouped together and the trades just swing heavily for Revenant. They've been very good at adjusting like this. The entire game, not just in this half, even in the previous half, you see how good positions they're in. They're always together. OG, on the other hand, have been kind of reading these flanks, and they've been outbraining Revenant all this time. But because Revenant Esports are just so much better at trades, they're still able to make up the deficit.
And OG, they do call a timeout, but what's the call here? I mean, your B hit, it was a right call, I'd say, but the Seekers stopped you from executing into the site, and then Revenant with a phenomenal retake. I mean, that was a great retake, but as you said, Paradox being in the backlines was always a trouble for OG to deal with. This time, I think they see the pit A shot, they again just move towards the A side of the Z this time around. It's a crazy shot out to Josh. He was just jumping for information, but just gets completely shut down. Right to his blinds the drone over there, but it does not matter because Tesseract will take his head off, and Revenant,
Spike planted.
they are this time not able to stop the players of OG from taking the B side, and I think this should be a safe call instead.
And it is. Revenant give it up. OG are finally making these brute force executes work.
A good thing for OG. They'll have 2 very big ultimates ready in the next round if they're able to get all the plants. RVK with the orbital strike, Tesseract with the Hunter's Fury. Even Raw Fuel, if necessary, can have the Blade Storm. Obviously, he won't be given an op for that. But yeah, Anti with a frag is making sure that these weapons are taken away from the hands of Team Revenant. Because even though they are definitely winning the rounds, but they haven't been that clean. So they are also struggling economy-wise. They will still be able to afford a purchase. Or maybe not now, because that rifle was of paramount importance. Paradox won't be able to buy. Ching does not have enough money, and neither does Right to Ace. So this should be a safe call overall. And OG, on paper, should have another round for themselves.
Revenant Esports were relying on these flanks quite a lot, and I'm gonna be honest, I mean, they have been pretty good at this. OG, on the other hand, are finally starting to pull off a page out of Remnant's book. You know, they try to stick together and they try to hit them all at once. They fight fire with fire, they beat pace with pace, and look at the pace at which Rock is going inside. Already on the other side, and he goes all the way back to get that kill onto Blackhawk. The orbital strike forces Paradox out of position, and Rockfuel's ready to receive that as well. The shorty holds no value.
One enemy remaining.
Rockfuel is on fire.
Planted.
With pure skill and raw will, he will make this round into such a good showing for OG. Aziz to back it up. OG are climbing real fast.
These attacking rounds is where Team Revenant found comfort, and I think that is the exact same thing for Orangutan. Although it's still a little bit too early since there is a lead of 4 rounds. But oh gee, they have been able to get a couple of rounds, and still you do see Tesseract and Andy one way from ultimates. So I'll say the ulti economy for Team OG is also on the roll. So everything right now
Smoke's
points towards the comeback for OG. Let's see if they're able to do it or not. Tesseract early out drone clearing out A shots. Spots Blackhawk. I don't think so. That will be a lot of trouble. But Anti, what? He just sidesteps the showstopper and puts the bullet in the head of Paradox. Blackhawk is able to essentially trade him out. But now it's a 4v4 retake without a flank, without information. Yes, you do have the orbital strike ready.
Smoke.
But oh gee, they are not giving you the side for now.
They definitely are not. And this time Revenant don't have any flanks, so you don't even need to worry about the back lines. They just have to hold this front. Smokes go towards one way on a shot, another one towards Bat. This should let Revenant at least flood into the side, but there's still quite a lot of people on the side itself. The dive in from Josh, not successful. RBK blocks him off mid-air, and the trades come through. Tesseract with a two-piece. OG fight them back. They fight them hard.
That's another eco for Revenant. They don't have money, and neither do they have ultimates to swing this around. So it has to be just pure aim if they want to get to their 12. But oh gee, they're looking to get back into the game. Great round, great trades there. And I still cannot comprehend how did Anti just sidestep the showstopper and was still able to find that frag onto Paradox. That was something insane, but was of paramount importance. It helped the players of Team OG to enter into the side without any fear, because Showers was still in their control as Anti was still alive. A very important frag, and that's where the round fell. I mean, the retake attempt was there, but OG with the smokes out CD, with the volley out CD, they just saw every sort of push. And Aziz, the secret did not go to Ching, so they might not expect this player over here, but Aziz in that off angle. Oh, never mind, he just checks. Although he's not able to win the duel. But OG on the other hand are able to find frags left and right. Ching with the double. But the teleporters will be hit instantly. And Revenant, they will have a chance because Blackhawk can also wait and maybe go for the weapon, which he opts not to do. He still, okay, now has no more smokes left, so it has to be a fast retake if they want to facilitate it. But OG, they're ready. I mean, if somehow Tesseract is able to fall back, they can play off the Hunter's Fury. Now the smokes and Molly once again just being thrown in. And time being bought on the clock. And OG should have this round in their bag if they played with discipline.
They've got quite a lot of anti-defuse utility as well. If Tesseract is playing from farther back, he can just use the shortcuts to deny it. But he's playing right ahead. Good transfer as well. RVK assists him a bit. And Revenant all of a sudden are stalling. They had such a good lead going into this one. And Aziz was the one who was leading the team for OG, but now everyone's pulling their weight. Tesseract and RVK are stepping up massively.
Oh, you needed some support for Aziz. And Tesseract and RVK, as you said, are just stepping up right now. And they are getting those trades perfectly. The entries are being thrown in from raw fuel too, because bear in mind, when the half started, he just had 7 frags to his name. Has already done almost what he was able to do in the defensive half in the first few rounds of attack. And OG, they have forced the players of Team Revenant to call for a timeout. Now, what's the strat over here? Because essentially, there is not a flaw in the concept of defense that Team Revenant has. It's just OG choosing the right side and having those entries for themselves. Because I remember from where this comeback all started, it was the Blade Storm available for Team Revenant. And a jumpy comes out B long and his head gets taken off by Aziz. That's an unlucky way to go down. And that is exactly where they lost a round and just fell into the eco cycle. So if moments like these keep happening, OG will really have a strong chance of coming back into the game. Otherwise, the defaults, I really have no questions about it for Team Revenant. They are just perfect. They just need to be played according to the util you have. And Revenant has been doing it. So OG, they again will have to find an answer. And let's see if they're able to once again crack this B-side.
Blinded.
That's true. OG have already qualified for the playoffs. Now they just want to defend their honor, defend their integrity. They want to still have the status of being the undefeated team. And they also want to get that plus 50 round difference. Oh, that's an early commitment. And that's to stop anyone from coming out of the teleporters. They thought that was a death sentence, but somehow they survived. Josh with the op. He's ready for the shorty on the other side as well. It's done. He's getting surrounded. If he can get at least one, it would be great. Paradox has arrived to rescue him, but there is nobody fighting him. They're so aware about this, and OG positioned themselves perfectly. Paradox doesn't even have any util to nade them out towards backside, and Ching is now isolated. Once again, trade's not available for Revenant, and OG are playing picture-perfect Valorant.
What a round for OG. I mean, we did not see the first battle out B-Log, where the entry was, I think, taken away by the player of OG. And then into the side came RVK and Aziz. Oh, the two, once they are in the side, it's super difficult to hold with an operator in hand. He still was able to buy a lot of time, Josh. Paradox could have, I mean, 1 more second is what Paradox needed over there to provide some support, and the round could have fell for Team OG, but that did not happen. And once again, Revenant have been forced to an eco. This could be the equalizer, but Revenant there, I think they're investing in it. If Ching drops the ultimate, Revenant will be all in for the round. And they are.
We are still keen on heading the B side. Wait, are they for real? Alright then, they want to contest this Viper's Pit. They wouldn't expect Revenant to be both stacking the B side and using the Viper's Pit on it. They just assume that since the pit is here, the rest of Revenant would be on A.
They can still hit the TP and run towards the A side, and with that off, Aziz also has his ultimate ready. And I still kind of question Team Revenant for this decision they made. But hey, let's see, because OG, they are not heavily rotating. And there is a smoke out A shot that has been thrown in, I think, from Blackhawk. And that's his last smoke. There won't be any information given because of the board. And yes, this is a A hit. The players will just hit TP as soon as A shot is all clear. Yeah, there we go. OG, they choose the right side. They should get the plant. And deny the retake shouldn't be a problem until Josh can come up with some heroics.
30 seconds
or maybe
left.
right to Ace and Blackhawk with those sheriffs, or even Paradox. Because Ching, he has nothing to do with his shot. He just could be the running weight into the side.
Yeah, just try to get a pick or two out of these smokes. Josh retrieves the weapon. Now he's more dangerous, but Aziz is fighting them all.
That's done.
Not backing away from these battles.
Josh will still be happy to save the weapon though. But Ching can try to do as much damage as possible. Some shots being whipped here and there. Even the blade storm not connecting. Finally, Josh gets a frag, but between them they have 19 HP left. Aziz takes 1 and then the ace 2. So Aziz says if the other players are not stepping up, I'll just make sure that I fill in their shoes. And OG, they have equalized in style.
And it's the worst time to have an economic meltdown. At least Revenant will be able to afford weapons in this round, but with Aziz going in absolute god mode, he's already farmed up his ultimate once again. The ace is just the cherry on top of the cake. It's a bold statement that will definitely destabilize the morale of Revenant Esports. Having your opponent start to pop off now, he's already crossed the 30 bomb mark.
Let's see the OG. They have a trailblazer and they also throw the drone. Just double clearing util on the back of it. Rafi is already into the side. Aziz with the showstopper will take care of Paradox, but Josh survives. He is somehow able to stop that Ferrari peek from Rafi and now wants to peek out of the smoke. Does so. But right to Ace gets a frag with a trailblazer. And Blackhawk gets one too. Anti answers right back onto Josh and instantly hits the teleporter.
Ooh, but he's not actually going there.
He is coming back, but Tesseract, he gets a solo fight, isolates it against Blackhawk, and that was not a duel that Blackhawk should have taken, and now it puts right to Ace in a 1v2. He does not expect the player under heaven. He does not, and he will be taken care of. OG, just on the brink of falling, they mount a comeback, and now find themselves at game point.
Very cool execute from OG. Yes, Josh being alive was a bit of a problem, but OG just threw in a little TP bait into the mix. They make Revenant question their decisions for just a microsecond, and that's when Tesseract strikes. He uses the timing to perfection. They just fuse chaos into Revenant's minds, man. They plant that seed of doubt, and it turns into a beanstalk right from that fairy tale.
So let's see told you this time around, there is a little bit of an adaptation from Team Revenant. They wanted to push out B hookah, but with the util, now OG know it, and they are throwing in bodies to counter it too. Tesseract instantly wants to get hookah control. The drone will tell him that there is no one hookah, and there are 2 players on site at least. And this triggers sort of a response from OG because I think they are running towards the A site. They just don't want to give information. That's why the shift key has been hit, but they're very wary about all the flanks too. They know that they do not have any sort of map control, so they need to be very careful with where they hit.
Yeah, and
they've chosen
because
the correct site.
And because Revenant have been pushing out every now and then, they're also wary about the flank being present towards the Bath region. That's why you exactly see that Viper Wall from Jing. It is to facilitate the flank hit, so OG would be wary about this one, but they dive right inside. Oh my goodness, the duelists are popping off for OG. Josh is finally able to stop Rockman's killing spree, but he can't stop Aziz. This man's already so close to 40.
One enemy remaining.
And he just simply does not stop, refusing to give up, refusing to bend down. Right to Ace, brings him down to his knees, but he's already got a fiery grave ahead of him. 3rd-degree burns inflicted, and this round is as good as gone. The spike is half gone, and so is Revenant's hopes with it. OG maintain their undefeated streak. They haven't lost a map in Split 2 yet, and they're not about to do it now.
What was the halftime talk after 8-4? And what was the timeout talk after, I think, what, 5-11? That instilled something into the minds of OG, and they did not look back. They did not even drop around after that. They just straight away snatch a game which had Revenant written all over it. And now all they can do is discuss, man. That is all they can do. I mean, what went wrong? How were we not even able to close out the round after a 5-11 lead? All these questions will be posed to the side of Team Revenant. But OG, man, great reads, great shots, and they just had Aziz. That's the least of their worries.
Yeah, Aziz really stepping up when the moment of calling is upon him. We will break down more details about this game after this short break. And after that, we have the next map too, so don't go anywhere.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
I'm against it. I'd say it should be a very easy game for OG. But let's see what Team Revenant has in store for us.
It's gonna be Haven, ladies and gentlemen. I don't expect something too unique out of OG. Their meta composition on Haven has been quite stable so far. If Revenant try to throw in a spanner in the works, then that definitely would be something exciting.
Agent picks, here we go, raw fuel. With the jet, no surprises there. And it is a very, very common pick from Team Revenant. So let's see if their defaults are as powered as Team Orangutans, because they do have sort of a mirror comp. But this time around, OG have made a small change. Aziz is on the Sky. Instead of a Sova, which we usually see, there is a Sky in the mix. Let's see how does this initiator be used by the players of Team OG this time around.
I was also quite surprised to see Paradox on Breach, but then this guy is quite versatile. He's super aggressive, which means hopefully he's able to keep up with Josh and be able to trade him out every time he dashes inside somewhere. But the lack of a Breach can definitely be a little dicey for a team like OG. Their execute power will be lacking heavily now. At least with this guy, they have the ability to gather more information, so I guess they'll be playing in a much more fluid way. Let's see if they're able to make it work.
Early pistol looks like a early grass control. That's what they want Team OG, and they will be challenged on it. But Aziz, I mean, shooting shots like that, it really does not matter a lot. Although Josh
Spike
was
down
not
mid.
expected to be in that position or what, because he dashed in the very early round, in the very early seconds of the round, but still is able to come out with 2. OG are able to control the bleeding and bring it down to a 2v2. But right to Ace has a frenzy around the corner. So clearing him out with, of course, hey, not the best possible situation you'd like to be in. An RBK already spotted down. The off angle comes in, and then the frenzy goes brrr. Revenant once again get the pistol, and they are 3-3 in terms of. Oh no, okay, nah, OG got one in the first half of Bite. But yeah, after that, Revenant great pistol round in this map of Haven.
Yeah, and he just one clips them both. The battle, give it away. That is so annoying. I mean, I can't even blame him for that. It's just a view model. But then, with this guy playing so close around the corner and the trade not coming through from OG, that's also quite commendable. Right to Ace doing a great job of making sure that they are not able to fight back. Aziz, on the other hand, though, really good defense. We knew that Revenant will have this execute power. That's why they just used the fault line and head straight down grass to fight them. And Aziz, like we expected, continues to be a little more stable. Paradox doesn't know the best luck across. This spectre can be deadly, but they all line up for him, and the trades are immaculate. Josh looking to re-aggress. Oh, he also wanted to peek alongside the rest of his teammates, and they're here now. Blackhawk and Jing making it look so easy.
This time around, not a lot of damage done too. So RVK, he is the last player standing. Let's see. Does Does he even get one? No, he does not. Blackhawk will shut him down. And Revenant, once again, they start the game on a positive note. 2-0. And I would like to wait for an answer back from Team OG.
Well, they finally have the guns. But Revenant aren't just carrying forward their exploits from the bonus round. Sure, they have the Spectres and Bulldogs, but there's an AWP on Josh. So they really just want to speed run through this entire match.
Will they be allowed to do so is the question over here. Josh will be, I mean, just stunned. He was being thrown a lot of utility at, but Rafuel was stunned himself. He is still able to find that frag onto the hopper. And now all the weapons remaining are very, very weak, I'd say. Aziz, with the Trailblazer, might not spot Paradox in the position, but Rafuel has that angle locked too. Should be the third. Oh, he legs Paradox, and Tesseract will clean him up. So the A side gets cracked open. They will enter into this side. The spike will be on the back of Antidote, who will note that flank down too and pass the information along to AVK and OG. The spike is planted. It should be OG round.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Oh my goodness. OG keep it clean. They walk away with all the weapons intact. RVK still holding on to the Bulldog, but hey, at least they've upgraded to the AWP now. The setup from the AWPer was actually good. Paradox stunned up the entire Sewers area to help him set up for that fight, but they kind of anticipated it, so there was an Astra start in the way. With both the players just being stunned, the AWPer can't scope in, and that's why he gets instantly killed. I'm not even sure if he was stunned or not. I mean, he probably could have landed the shot, but man, OG are just better at these things. Uh-oh.
Both the Jet. Alright.
Exactly, it's happening to them at the same time.
And somehow both of them survive. No one falls. I thought because Josh was being portaled, was stunned, he could have been the dead man early on in the round.
These guys are mirroring each other, man.
even in the mistakes, huh? But yeah, Josh was trying to get that off to get that Blaze Storm available, and now he'll have to play with the Frenzy for a very long period of time. The drone won't spot anything though, so do they go and re-aggress towards the orb? Surely not, right? Yeah, Revenant, they're just holding their ground for now. They want to aggress A short, and that is where Josh S is getting activated. But RVK, outside B main, could be a positive, could be a little possible threat. But yeah, he also just disengages, and OG, they are preparing for this regroup outside A, and this A hit overall.
Uh-oh. He gets bitten, he's trapped, he's getting swung from both the sides. What a dangerous game for all the players of Revenant and Short. Jesus, they got crunched hard. No way to fight back, no way to survive. What is this? OG are hunting them down. They don't need to fight so aggressively, but they just make it look absolutely flawless. OG moving fearlessly across the battlefield, even into positions they don't need really.
They had money, so why not? Just why not?
That's not an excuse to take unnecessary risk.
Hey, a 2v5 is never an unnecessary risk. You already know you've got the round in your control, and why not let the players just go in and find the frags? That's what OG does. They're so aggressive. They want all the frags in the round. They're not satisfied with just 3, and they push their spawn. Is what they do to get the round overall. And Revenant, they could have possibly saved 2 rifles if they just hightailed it back towards maybe their spawn, maybe towards the C side, but they do not, and now are just left with Sheriffs all about. Josh is playing on the knife, so he does not invest into a Sheriff of his own. But yeah, Revenant, they have very little chance of getting something done in the round now.
And even OG are being super careful. They know that Revenant likes stacking these sides and taking some risks in eco, so they're gonna take their sweet time to clear everything out. Trailblazers, drone, everything being used to methodically clear a lobby, long and short respectively, but now Rafuel goes inside. He knows that the nebula in the way means there could be somebody inside, so he goes all the way across Graffiti to circle Ching and at the same time somehow get the kill onto Ace as well, but he's been staying alive much longer than expected inside that smoke. Uh-oh, Josh overstays his welcome, and he still gets that shot off! Oh my goodness, that is just unbelievable. It all started really well for OG, but now it's going all the way down into the depths of chaos. Revenant Esports clutched this round out from the palms of OG.
And it all happened because somehow, even after seeing the Trailblazer did spot Ching there, and even after that happened, somehow Ching was able to get 2 or maybe even 3. I don't exactly remember the number, but he at least got 2 in the round. One with the Sheriff and then with one with the Vandal in sight. Oh, there was a big gap left, a shot, and that is what bit the players of Team Orangutan in the back.
Yeah, and those flanks have been coming through all the time, right? OG, they take control of long first. As soon as the Jets dash inside, that's when the rest of OG start climbing up the second ramp. And then they flood the site. And that's exactly why Revenant have been placing that smoke. It's quite standard to place it in between the default and the short box. The way Ace was hiding inside over there, that is quite common, but OG are able to deal with that. And now with the op, once again, they've handed it to the captain. You often expect it in the hands of Josh, but Antidote 2 is quite a strong opper. And while he's making presence to it, see, and while he's getting all the kills over there, Rawfuel has already snuck up a right to Ace, had no idea he would be dead so quickly.
The round's over. The round's over and Revenant. I mean, they can try and get into the side with Paradox and Rolling Thunder. But to answer that, you have Seekers of Aziz, you have the Hunter's Fury available for Tesseract. So, Revenant, yes, they'll still go for this retake. Let's see if they're able to do something about it or not. Paradox has full belt of util too, so he can throw those flashes to help his team get into the side. OG, there is a crossfire under Revenant Graffiti, which will be broken by because of this Rolling Thunder. But the players have got enough time. The Mollies will tag out the players of Revenant, but they jump in and get all the frags needed. Blackhawk sticking the spike. And he cannot do anything about it. He just had that operator in hand. The spike will be stuck and Revenant gets them in the score.
Oh my god. What a brawl. Hey, at least Antidote makes it entertaining. But yeah, that round, it shouldn't have gone down the way it did.
I thought OG was well set. But how did not they expect the Rolling Thunder to be thrown in? Because I think, 3 players got hit because of it? And one of them was Tesseract with the ultimate available. So he should have just run out of the side as soon as they got the clan down. But that did not happen. And once again, these little mistakes from OG cost them the round. Revenant will be happy to get anything right now. Rawfuel just running around is able to get a headshot onto Blackhawk through the woods. And then Tesseract is able to clean it up too. Now Aziz in this off angle will punish both the players trying to aggress A main. And yeah, that Revenant now left with just 2, make it 1. Because OG, they clear every cockroach out of the sewers.
My goodness, Revenant are just too strong and adamant. They just want to continue fighting over there, even though OG are shutting them down.
Spike planted.
Ching just runs away. I mean, it would be great if he can retrieve one gun somehow from a lobby, but even that's not possible because RVK is marking it. I understand that Revenant are recognizing OG's patterns. I understand they want to fight, but yeah, I think there are cleaner ways to do it, right?
If you don't get something out of A shot early on, it's better to leave that position away. Because then the attackers have sort of a height advantage and then the util dump advantage too. Because it's very easy to throw shock darts and volleys in A shot rather than, trying to defend it when you're on the lower side of it. So if you go for the early peek, you try to contact the player, you try to get a frag, but as soon as you're spotted, you should just run away. You vacate that space and then try to fight out on side or maybe on A main and then just defend A shot very passively. But that does not happen. And OG, they punish all the players shot. The Hunter's Fury was, I'd say, a little bit of overcommitment from Tesseract. But yeah, they did get their job. It did get the job done. He got that frag and the other players fell too. So yeah, good adjustment from OG. Good usage of utility. And they're able to get themselves a third and push Revenant onto another eco.
Oh, but Revenant get dangerous in their ecos. Last time they were playing relatively slow, but look at how quickly Josh has crept up. Now, there is KJ Util in the way, so he's gonna be pushed back. And OG was sort of expecting this. And there you go. If not Josh, at least Jing has been picked off. They know that he's still lurking around, so they will send the Trailblazer to clear it out, and this would be Josh's cue to get out of dodge.
Didn't paralyze his luck over there. He wanted to get a one tap as soon as he peeks out of garage. But this will be a C hit instead for OG. They should find the site fairly easily because there is just a turret that was thrown in from Ching before dying to mark their aggression towards the C side, and now they won't face any sort of a player util or a player presence too. So yeah, the spike goes down. They do have the Hunter's Fury, but I don't think so. Right Waste is going to pop it out this round. In this round, and Revenant, yeah, they'll be happy to let the scores be equalized now.
Slow creep around from Revenant. I mean, Tesseract is hoping that he would be able to catch someone coming in from garage, but I don't think he would expect someone on cross. What? No way! He's still able to get that kill even though he's concussed. Now that's just nuts. But does he expect the second one? No, he doesn't. Well,
And
if not the
Paradox gets
retake, at
two.
least Revenant can run away with the weapons.
That they do. And the economy of OG, although is great, but if they keep taking blows like these in the Rico rounds, it will essentially come to a halt. Although with not a lot of rounds being left, I think 4 more rounds is what Team OG need to play in the regulation. Money shouldn't be their problem now. Even if they lose 3 rounds straight, they will have enough to purchase in the 4th round too. So money should be the least of their concerns for OG. It is a timeout being called out from Team Revenant, and let's see the adjustment. For now, they are just happy fighting for A short, A main. And OG as well, I mean, they haven't shown us a lot of map being explored on their side too. I mean, this is one of the very least C hits we've seen in this entire half. B side is yet untouched. They only tried it once in the pistol round and failed. After that, it has been again and again those A hits which have helped OG get the 4 rounds for themselves on the board.
And OG also have been fighting Revenant tooth for tooth. I mean, yes, it is true that Revenant Esports are playing very aggressively, and OG are always able to handle that aggression with the defaults that they have. But every now and then, whenever they get the first pick, OG don't mind turning up the pace. Then they don't mind dropping their defaults out early and transitioning into an execute-based setup. And the pace at which Revenant were flanking them in bind, that is just simply not present in Haven. It's just not there at all.
Let's see though. The adjustment, there's still an alarm bot out B main, but no one's marking garage this time around. That's an interesting change. I think it'll be the job of Blackhawk to do it through elevators. And while Josh is positioned with his operator C long, he should be cleared away right away by Tesseract's out road. But Tesseract is testing his luck a little bit, just trying to give the shoulder out to the player on the C side. And this is going to be a C split. And OG are ready with all the util they'll need. Dog gets spotted down. The Trailblazer will get some information, but Blackhawk is the first one to get a frag. Raw fuel falls, but RBK trades. And you can hit the brakes right now.
Nah, but I don't think OG is going to do that. They're already peeking out of the smokes. Tesseract swings out wide. Ace is good for only 1, and eventually OG will overwhelm them. But the plant is yet to go down. They can slow the round in its tracks if they place the lockdown, but Antidote will return the favor. Araros wants to make a play before the lockdown gets popped, and he pops off RBK's head. Tesseract has a tiny corner for himself.
Oh,
But this is just so funny to look at. Are we gonna see a knife? Absolutely. Oh no! All right, Tesseract, you gentleman.
All right, not knifing him makes him a gentleman, huh, Crips? All right.
That is a gesture of goodwill. You know, he doesn't devolve into bad manners.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Give him a chance again and let him prove you wrong. He'll definitely knife if he sees a detained player the next time around and has enough time. I think time
I don't
was
think
only...
Paradox is gonna give him another opportunity to get detained.
Oh, that's true too. They won't have enough rounds in this half for Harry to get back to the lockdown until he just aces and gets the plan too. But right now, Josh, he did find the perfect timing. He had the perfect play in mind. He was almost able to get
No
one.
way.
He just runs into right to ace. But Ching is still fighting a shot. Now remember the round that Revenant took away from the hands of Team OG. It was again that A-shot player who made a lot of impact, and once again Ching is trying to do so.
Good.
He gets the second two. And now falling back, Revenant, they answer back, even though in their eco and even though they lost the early few frags, they still have the man advantage once the round begins.
OG are still climbing up a shot. Revenant would have assumed that after the turret was broken, they would try to fall back or something, but Revenant are making their presence known towards long, and at least they're playing all together, so OG have the opportunity to trade them out. The Phantom strikes, but the bigger gun is right here. No, Paradox! He pulls it out at the worst possible time. And Blackhawk still in the right place, still at the right time, but Rafuel is just so much faster. OG with a 2v3 clutch. I mean, don't get me wrong, they started off this round really well. They dealt with the ultimates from Revenant really quickly. The Blade Storm on Josh, it didn't have much impact. And look at that, Aziz was even distracted in that moment. He was shooting down the recon dart, so Josh was perfectly positioned to kill Aziz and then dash back. But the opportunity's gone. That's still fine. Ace uses the Hunter's Fury to somehow make up for Josh's lack of a kill over there. And instantly get dashed upon by Raw Fuel. So before he can put the bow away, he's dead. Jing, yes, he did make it look hopeful, but no, that's just, this is not happening. Even with the bigger gun, he's not able to do anything. And now they have to go up against Josh's massive gun. Antidote has one to respond with of his own. But the drone will most likely clear him out. So if Aziz can break it, it would be perfect. But Josh is still positioned perfectly.
Revenant this time around again, they find themselves at an advantage, and Tesseract is tugged in, so he cannot be taken out from B main. And now Para ready with the aftershock, wants to flash off Tess off the angle, but Tess, he was playing it beautifully with the footwork, but when it came to aim, he made a lot of shots, and Revenant, they answer right back with a flawless.
Both these teams fighting tooth and nail. It's such an interesting game. As Revenant Esports, they make similar plays. They want to play aggressively once again, but this time with just a little bit from the sides rather than actually peeking deep into sewers and long. And with that, Josh is able to get all the opening kills he needs. Even Ace chimes, okay, not Ace, his teammates on the Ace side, they both chime in.
Ooh, there is a timeout being called by OG, and they, I think, want a 7-5 half. That's the reason probably, and I still do not understand why are they again and again just hitting that Ace side when they're not when they're being struck down in multiple instances by Revenant. This time around, it all started once Ching got a frag out garage, so you cannot completely call it a hit. But essentially, majority of the players are being thrown out a lobby by OG.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but OG haven't planted on B yet, have they?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? I mean, they sometimes fight mid and fight grass every now and then, but they haven't really planted towards the B site. Whenever they take C long and garage control, they try to go for the crunches. That's all normal, but they haven't actually exploited B as much as I thought they would.
It comes to us as a surprise, but I think OG are sort of maybe preparing for the next stages in games like these. They've already almost confirmed their qualification. So
yeah,
that could be one of the reasons they're just rehearsing their A hits again and again. That's the
treat
worst
this whole
excuse
game
I
like
could
a
come up
scrim. I mean, yeah, they don't have anything to lose, but Revenant do have a lot to prove, so the stakes are still high for them.
Get out of my
This
way.
time around, they do have the Rolling Thunder for Paradox and even the Cosmic Divide, so they leave A. They're playing a retake on A, and OG is stubborn enough to go towards that side again. Tesseract has the Hunter's Fury, and RVK has a Cosmic Divide for himself, but I think RVK will use it to help his team enter rather than saving it for the post plant. Or maybe, just maybe, OG just pivot back. Okay, no, yeah, of course, Rafuel already has A long control. You already have some bit of information on A shot, so you still execute onto the side.
You want to find it?
Revenant are happy to give it.
Okay, then.
weird art.
This is a weird ult, right? It makes it look like they're hitting C. The ult actually cuts off OG's own path into the site. But they still go through it. And that's exactly why Revenant, they were hesitating. What's going on? Oh, and right to Ace gets done dirty. As soon as he pops the drone, Rafuel pops his head.
Blocking sight.
There is still the Rolling Thunder on Paradox, and OG are expecting this one. That's why very few of them are playing from the side itself. And as soon as the ult goes in, the Hunter's Fury is activated to make sure they can't pop out of CT. But Josh jumps out of heaven and he takes down Rockfuel's head. Antidote, blind as a bat, and Revenant are rolling them over. And now RVK's ult, it's backfiring now. This is the second ult placed from the other Astra, but it's very similar to one that RVK plays. Is he a master of playing through these walls, playing through the gaps, just jiggling in and out? Ching says no.
Revenant. Even though they lost that initial duel and the player just got taken, right to just got his head taken off, still are able to mount a really good strike back into the side, and they're able to retake it properly. I mean, I was surprised for a moment. The Rolling Thunder even got dodged by Rafuel. So Rafuel had a very good opportunity, but the flash was just perfect. The jump down then comes in. And the Hunter's Fury, I think, came in a little bit too early. That was, I think, supposed to stop the push coming in from CT maybe, and not for the post-plan situation. But it could have been saved. I mean, you should have expected that the Cosmic Divide from the counter team is going to come in, and then you'll be left with nothing in sight. So it was a hasty decision made in the heat of the moment, which led to team OG dropping another round. But Revenant, they'll be happy with the 6-6 half.
I don't think the Hunter's Fury was as big of a problem, but yeah, the Cosmic Divide being put in does kind of put you in that situation, right? If OG are deliberately not playing from the side itself in hopes of dodging the Rolling Thunder, they should have expected the Cosmic Divide to cut them off as well. And yeah, the Hunter's Fury at that point, the intention was great, but yeah, the outcome was just simply not there. Plus, RVK's ult also was a bit weird. And when he's forced to face a similar ult from the other Astra, that's when you realize what it actually leads to. But that was still a good half, so we'll jump into the second one after the short break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it.
Let's get back into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Revenant versus OG. Both the teams are tied evenly. Even though OG have the first map win, Josh wants to get a head start, but gets his head blown off by Aziz. They can't go for the plant yet because of the gravity. Ace is stuck over here, but at least he's able to alleviate the pressure by killing Rafuel. Even Aziz is down, even though he started off with a brilliant double kill. Blackhawk and Ching are stabilizing, and they expect Tesseract's flank too. It's all gone down perfectly.
Spike planted.
Except for the entries, the trades are just perfect. Or I'd say OG just gave them 1v1s. That's what happened there. And RVK, he will also be offered a 1v1 against right 2 ace, wins it out, but with 22 HP, Ching has a molly on Spike too, has a lot of HP to play with. Blackhawk, the first one to contact maybe, just by Ching a little bit more seconds on the clock. He is in astral form too, so and RVK just misses quite a few shots too. So yeah, that is a Revenant round. But OG, just, I'd say schoolboy mistakes just happened. All the 1v1s were given away without any util being thrown in. And they lose all the duels. Revenant win the round.
Revenant with some really clean head pops over there. I was a bit concerned, especially when Aziz started to pop off over there. But Revenant they came back really sharply. And now with the better weapons, they can hope to use these bulldogs at range. But we still have to be careful against the sheriffs. That gets pushed back. Recon does reveal his position, and luckily he doesn't get caught in the gravity well, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to escape either. Tesseract and Aziz both just focusing towards short now, rather. A smoke over here would be perfect to cut off the Revenant execute. That would make them, that would make it harder for Revenant to clear all the site.
And this is a hit, and OG are positioned perfectly to stop it down, but they need to hit those shots, and AVK gets one, but the trades are immaculate. The trades are just immaculate, and inside Anti was all alone, gets picked off, gets taken care of, and Revenant. It became a little bit fuzzy, I'd say, but yeah, they were able to finally control it and get the round for themselves.
They get the round, they keep the Bulldogs, all three of them intact, and now they have to face against the big guns on OG. Although Tesseract has picked up a Guardian instead. Nah, he switches over to the Bulldog. The extra few $100 are not worth it. Then he goes back to the Guardian. Okay, then this guy's just basically throwing us off now. He's just like, screw you, Crips. I'm not gonna let you talk about the buy at all. Focus on the games instead. Focus on the frags. Which I would be happy to do if they oblige, and they definitely are doing so. Rockfield trying to hold them back. There's a lot of util being dumped at him. The Aftershock and the Nano Swarms, they still don't push him off his position. But within all that distraction, Tesseract has found his place over here.
The problem here is the weapon he has, and he gets nothing. The Guardian, it is a one-tap weapon, so you really cannot expect much from that situation.
Especially when all five are peeking you.
Yeah, exactly. Vandal could have still gotten one, but that does not happen. And Para has been tagged up quite a bit, and they do not have a Sky to get the reset back. But yeah, Revenant, they are clearing corners. They do not spot AVK in the corner too, and Aziz is there as well. AVK gets a frag, Aziz with another, and then the third kill. Make it 4 because OG are here to contest. OG are here to stay. They get their 7th in quite a good fashion.
Aziz finally finding his form. He was having a quiet game in Haven, even though he popped the hell off in Bind. In the first half of Haven, he was somewhat quiet, and now he's waking up. The monster is here to play. And especially when all of them are peeking him from the same left side of the smoke, that too with quite a lot of gap in between the trades, he's able to devour them. On Bind, he was an absolutely unstoppable monster, but we know how good Aziz can be when he's anchoring with the Sky. Rockfield dashes ahead with intent, and now that he knows that nobody's present because of the recon dot as well, he's very happy to fall back as well. But while Rockfield falls back, Aziz has pushed up.
The re-smoke A made is just beautiful. It is just beautiful because that completely takes away the trade potential for Paradox. And Revenant are now being toyed in this round. The Seeker's being thrown in just to make sure that A-Lobby still remains under their control, and even Tesseract has pushed up. So A is out of equation for Team Revenant. They are trying to get their forces back on a single place, and that would be the B side, I think. The alarm bot will give away early indication though about it. And Aziz is ready to peek off of it. Maybe a flash to help him do so. But no, he dry peeks and Ching will take his head off. So Revenant, they do find an entry. Yes, they're low on HP, but at least they'll get the spike down.
And the most important players are alive. Smokes on either side to get into the side, but Tesseract's flank has been once again discovered. He's been having trouble on these A main flanks every now and then. Ching is going all the way around him, and Tesseract anticipate this. He kills the turret. He doesn't expect the swing on the back of it. Still a little careful, still poised, and Tesseract has dealt with the flankers. Now the rest of them trapped in the depths of B. Paradox is using his flashes, hoping to buy some space for Blackhawk, but he gets popped by Tesseract in the back of his head. OG are able to successfully retake.
They lose Aziz and Anti in the process, but that's okay. That's completely fine. As soon as Tesseract, he was a very, I'd say, mindful player over there to continuously check his angles and found the timing too. And that was a very important fact to find out with Ching, because he could have been a side in their a thorn in their side. There were nano swarms available. He could have wasted a lot of time with that util, and dealing with him early on really helped. the side of Team OG to get that retake done. 8-8 on the cards. Revenant push to an eco. They do have ultimates to work with, so if they do get frags left and right, they can think about they can think about using the ultimates. But let's see if that's the case or not. Tesseract being run at. There is a slinger in the way, so you'll have to be careful. Drop to 2 HP. But the important thing is he survives. And Revenant have put a halt to the push that they attempted in the first place.
Anticipation. He stays as well, overstays his welcome, but doesn't find anyone for his patience. If the drone tags anybody, they could have been a very easy kill through that smoke, but luckily the drone doesn't do anything. Revenant Esports still playing heavily near Graffiti and Hell. They're hoping the crossfire would work, but OG are storming through this one. Cosmic Divide to keep them at bay doesn't help at all. Instead, it traps all the players towards Hell. It backfires on Revenant, and OG are able to clean up shop.
Big ultimates were used over there. And even though they did not get a frag, I think Revenant was trying to buy a lot of time. And then choke Team OG on the basis of it. But OG, they were wise enough to disrespect all the ultimates, all the utils being thrown at them to just take control outside. They knew that the players are playing with weaker weapons and the trades are not going to be that fast. And OG, they get the answer right back. They just get the retake and they have been able to get 9 on the board.
Well, the Revenant guys are quite loud. I'm assuming this is only because the OG supporters aren't in the arena. I don't think they would let Revenant get louder. OG definitely are loud when they start playing like this, and now that they've taken the lead again, you could have surely expected the arena to erupt. But Revenant really have to figure out a solution now. OG were really adamant in the first half, trying to go towards the A side again and again, but in the second half, you can see why they prefer this A side so much. They just love retaking it too. So OG can breach into it from anywhere, from both the defensive entrances and the attacking ones. And Revenant really have to rethink their strats. They've been fairly successful in picking off Aziz and the rest of the gang towards B, so maybe they could try going back in that region. At the same time, Revenant haven't shown us too much of C action. I mean, yes, they tried to hit there, but they haven't really been able to plant all that often. They usually get pushed back and then they try to play mid-round once again. We haven't seen them brute force as much. And how can they brute force? You never know when OG are going to play aggressive. This time even Rafuel has changed his position. Instead of playing towards A, where he usually is, he's gone towards C and Garage respectively.
Aziz is filling his shoes, so you still can expect a lot of firepower down a shot.
Oh, definitely.
And he wants to peek.
Deploying drone.
That's typical Aziz. He dodges the drone for now, and the Hunter's Fury will be a very good util to be thrown in. The player has been spotted. Aziz even gets a second. And Revenant, before they have a chance to set up their execute, they just get bullied by that ultimate.
And even if they can dodge the lasers, they can't dodge Aziz's bullets. The flash once again confirms the positions of Revenant players. 40 seconds left, which are enough for an execute, but if they want to go to the side or elsewhere, they have to do it now. With Aziz found, they can probably start anchoring this area down and hope that OG are not flanking them. That's exactly why Ching is also trying to plant that turret over there, just to make sure they don't get stabbed in the back.
30 seconds left.
But if they want to hit the A side, they must do it now. The crossfire between Tesseract and Antidote of sorts, but Antidote doesn't even need to reveal himself. Nobody would expect this graffiti off angle, and now they're both looking to peek at once. They do it! Tesseract stylishly mows them down.
Oh my god, OG. Good hold, good read. And it all paid off because of the early aggression that Aziz showed and the Hunter's Fury was thrown in. Because you get a 5v3 situation, yes, you do lose a player, but then again, you still have a man advantage present for you. And then the time concern as well for Revenant. Everything just fell apart in the last few seconds, and Revenant, they are again forced to play on these light shields and sheriffs. How can they recover from a situation like that? Only Ching is the one who I think has been performing better as compared to the other players of Team Revenant. And that is all because of the trades that he's able to get. We need Josh to step up if they still want to contest OG in this map.
Here.
Ching is the one who's knocking on the doors of B. Usually it's Paradox who does it whenever Revenant were putting him in the position in the past, but now that he's playing the initiator, he's supposed to play with his teammates. Ace doesn't check that angle. This could be a problem. I'm pretty sure the Tesseract will go ahead and peek, which might give Revenant a chance, but as soon as the spike is down, he uses the drone. He's making sure that he can't recover it. Never mind. A little bit of an overextension, and Josh is able to somehow bring the round back within the bounds of a victory.
And at the exact same time, Ching just destroys the alarm bot down B main.
Here.
So OG have to be concerned on two different spots now. And it is B that they are hitting Team Revenant. But does AVK catch it? Timing, he really tried to. He was not able to do so. Now Josh into the side, spotted. His legs get shot down. Aziz is able to get the frag, but the rolling thunder was good. It did push the players of Team OG back, but they are not. They still are not completely off in terms of the round contention. The spike just will go down, but OG with the counter seeker should get back into the side with ease.
My double's dead.
Now, unless Ching starts popping off. Oh, and he kills Raw Fuel as well. Now the tables have turned. Aziz is the only one who can make a difference, but they're so aware. The flashes give you an indication about Aziz's information. Now RBK now with everything to do and nothing going in his favor. Revenant are keeping it competitive. I have to admit that Cosmic Divide from RBK was very impressive. It's an Omni Cosmic Divide. It blocks off everything. A long, a short, the B-side entrance and C. So there's really no place for Revenant to go. And they thought it would buy them enough time, but Revenant make a brave push through the B-side. They get that plant in deep. And even though they didn't have the man advantage, as long as they could isolate the fights for OG, they knew they would win. And that's what they succeed at.
Alarm bot out. Here.
Revenant once again back with all the weapons they need this time. Let's see if they're able to replicate the result of the previous round. Josh gunning down A-Long, and with the support of Paradox, they are able to pick Tesseract off first. Why again? Why without any sort of util you just go in for the solo pick? I do not understand. These are basic mistakes. Basic mistakes which are costing OG early man losses.
Good flank from RBK. The turret will most likely spot him, but Aziz strikes before that happens. Slowly and steadily creeping in over here. Our Revenant, but Rockfield stops them in their tracks. Antidote doesn't let anyone through the smoke. Just thought that the shorty would help him get something, but absolutely denied.
OG once again, they recover the round. Yes, they do. Right away is not ready for Antidote to be in that position. And OG are able to answer right back. I thought for once that OG might just lose the round because Tesseract was taken so early on in the round. But then for some reason Revenant hit the brakes. OG, they made some plays. They made some, I'd say, very ballsy plays over there to peek A main first, and somehow Aziz was able to get one tag right to his behind the player he got the frag on, and then the short smoke. Not checking Antidote.
Get out of my
is what led Team Revenant to lose the round. And once again, it has been such a single dimensional approach from both these teams. They just keep hitting A every other round.
Well, they clearly have their preferences now, don't they? Once again, RVK is on the front foot. He's trying to clear as much room as possible. But at least this time, Revenant are able to get the opening. Ooh, and the lockdown. That's quite interesting.
They're expecting these peaks now. The Rafael misses the dash. I thought he would just run to CT to save his life, but that's not the case. Wanted to get the shorty frag. He won't. And then the angle. Okay, never mind. He just baits the gun barrel out and is still able to take the head off of right to Ace. A 2v4, I mean, and at least Anti's not interested. And RVK is also playing for exit frags. So they gave away Revenant their 10th round, but they'll be happy to save the two weapons they have in hand.
Yeah, the two weapons along with the 4900 creds and RVK, there should be enough money to get a weapon in the hands of these guys.
Maybe even an op.
Yeah. I mean, Testrat doesn't have all that much money, so maybe an op probably can't be picked up by OG. But if they do get it, if they take a risk and ask one of these players to downgrade to a Spectre or a Sheriff or something, an op can
Rofil
be
can
purchased.
easily drop. Rofil can easily drop Tesseract and RVK can give the operator to Rofil.
Alright, then we have a game on our hands. Revenant like to play this in the most easy way possible. They try to get into the site and they know that they can get in if they can get the opening frags, and they're able to do so. The lockdown planted kind of forced OG's hands. It was a fight or flight response. You know, you can either fall back and give up the site, or you can just try to kill as many Revenant players as possible within the few seconds that the lockdown offers you. And OG thought if they threw enough bodies, if they're able to just win those battles, even if they get detained, it shouldn't be a problem because they would have given their team a sufficient man advantage. That just doesn't happen. OG like playing this in the hard mode now, don't they?
Now, just by general tendency, OG should have 3 on a after the beginning of every round. That's just a general tendency that Revenant have shown. Even if they do go to a different side, they show some presence, early presence towards A main. So fights will be taken in A main and A short by both these teams. So that is something they'll need to work upon. But hey, I'd like to tell even Team Revenant that there is a B site and there is a C site too on the map. And I think they've heard it, and Revenant, they are just hard running towards the C site now this time around, I think.
Right there.
Alright. I think they've listened to you, man. They're heading towards C right away. And there's only a turret to catch anyone coming in. Of course, RVK will also be playing, but he will be cut off by the smokes and the dump of utility that Revenant are about to make. OG are playing this on the edge of garage. They're just hoping that they will be able to get all the frags as the jet dashes inside, but yeah, now the Hunter's Fury will be responded to by another Hunter's Fury. This one to deny the spike plant, but hey, Revenant are not looking to plant it yet. Now that all the util has been drawn out, they will try to stick it. Josh dodges the Astra utility and the Trailblazer too, but now the barrage of flashes comes through. A very convenient ult by Revenant Esports. It cuts the side in half, leaving the spike open, but that's what happens when the walls come through. The flash should have been expected, and Aziz on the back of that guiding light is able to get 2 of them. The tide has turned. Once again, Paradox is flashed. Somehow the shorty is able to give him a little bit of hope, but RVK will plant a bullet on his brain. And that's it! Nice call out by Ching, but the round is dusted and done.
What a retake. What a retake from Team OG. They started as soon as they saw that the players of Team Revenant are entering into the site. They did not even give them a second to think about their decisions, and the flashes were just beautiful from Aziz. They blinded every player. The 2 players holding crossfire outside the Astra wall, blinded. The player out C-Log, blinded. Great blinds from Aziz. And then the frags just followed up, and OG are able to shut this C aggression down.
Yeah, that's one inherent advantage this guy has over the breach. The flashes out of the smokes and these astral walls are just so much more convenient. Ooh, and this time Revenant are heading towards the B site as well. They take garage control, actually, never mind. This is gonna be a C crunch.
Anti has been tagged, has to run away, but inside smoke plays RVK. Smoke criminal for sure, but finally will be dealt with. So Paradox still keeps it contested. Does not have a lot of ultimates. Team Revenant have nothing at all, but Paradox again with the aftershock gets another. Yes, in the side will be dealt after 1, but they do not expect Aziz, and Aziz closes up short.
The flank from OG was so perfect. Aziz arrived just in the nick of time, and Revenant had no idea. The KJ util was active, but I guess they probably either smoked it or somehow found a way to just get past it without being triggered. And they had no idea that Aziz was already on the back lines. OG fight back. This was a very closely contested game by Revenant, so you respect them massively. But OG still undefeated. Without dropping a single map in Split 2, they qualify with flying colors.
The bananas are out. The bananas are out. No.
Okay then.
That's some beef right there, and there's a banana party going on for OG right now.
I'm sure they must have.
They,
As soon as Paradox walked onto the stage with that banana, I'm pretty sure they asked someone to run to the market and grab those bananas for themselves as well.
oh my god, what an answer back. What an answer back from the crowd as well. I mean, OG not only on the player front, they are superb with their support too. They just answered right back with the bananas of their own.
Yeah, that is perfect. Great Valorant from OG as they go undefeated in the entire league. But still, I would love to tip my hat to Revenant Esports. They made OG sweat more than anyone else did. I don't think OG were in this much trouble throughout the entire split. And Revenant really gave them a run for their money. Now that's what you call a cracking good game of Valorant. You can tell that even the players enjoyed it.
The good thing over here for Team Revenant is that they'll feel comfortable, I'd say, against the other teams because both the games went super close. Even Haven, I mean, they got 10 rounds. What I expected was 6 or 7, but they played like they were here to contest, and they did give OG a run for their money, which again most of the teams were not even able to do so. They were not even able to bring maps close. 13-2 against Velocity, 13-7 or 8 I think in the second map. Those were very quick games to say the least between the two teams. Now a team like Revenant comes in and shows a performance like this is just insane.
Exactly, it is insane. After their performance against Militant, we were all doubting them to some extent, but now against OG, they have really proven that they are here to play. I would love to see how they perform against Velocity next. But all of those discussions for the post-game segment, we'll be back after a short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong.